Hello Internet! Today I'm going to talk about a mystery. It's a hit and run that happened in Utah back in July. This young man called Nathan Huan. He was a 17-year-old from a place called Spanish Fork in Utah, which is language failing me again. The right word. It's middle of nowhere, desert place, you know. And he was found on Saturday the 13th of July in the middle of the road. It's the Arrowhead Trail. And after doing an autopsy, the police could tell that he was definitely struck by a vehicle, a car. But it's still a bit of a mystery exactly what happened. And obviously the parents want closure, you know, because their son died and they don't know if somebody ran him over on purpose or if it was just an accident. But obviously the driver is still unknown. It's a hit and run because the driver didn't stay at the scene. So, but they must know that they hit somebody. You can't walk away from that and not know, because it's a human being. It's like hitting a deer or a horse or something, you know. You can't run something like that over and not know that you've done it. So the driver, whoever is out there, they know. Even though he was struck at night, the police said that he was struck by either a pickup truck or an SUV sometime between 4:30 and 5:30 a.m. Obviously it was a desert road, so there's zero lighting, and apparently there was no moon out that night, so, you know, it was really pitch black. But obviously the vehicle would have had headlights driving in the dark, otherwise he wouldn't, you know, be able to see where he's going. But so it's entirely possible the driver didn't even see Nathan until it was, you know, until it hit him. But the driver should still have stopped. Maybe they did, because I think after, if you hit something in the dark, something that big as a person, even if you didn't know it was a person, you would stop the car, you would get out and you would look, and then possibly panic. And obviously the person then drove away if they did stop. But Nathan was walking home from a party, I also know that, and even though the people at the party, you want to say children, sort of 17, it's the borderline between children and adulthood, isn't it? So these young people at the party, even though they were underage, alcohol was being consumed, and that's pretty much as far as the police have got. One of their theories is that there was some kind of dispute between Nathan and either his friends or some other people at the party, which perhaps weren't his friends, but sort of, you know, they were there. It could have been a dispute over anything, over a girl or whatever, and then it was never resolved before the end of the party. So the person that had the argument, they pursued Nathan and run him over, and that would make it on purpose murder. That is a theory. Another theory is pretty much where I started. It was an accident. It doesn't even have to be somebody that knew him. It's just in the darkness on a dark road. He's there and nobody can see him, and, you know, this driver just runs him over. I don't know what to think about this. I guess since the person didn't stop at the scene, it's possible that it's more likely to be sinister circumstances. Because personally speaking, if I had run somebody over in the dark, on the dark road, you know, the circumstances are on your side. You stop at the scene and you call the police. And obviously they would come in, you know, it's dark and you can't see, and, you know, you explain to them what happened, and you're not liable. You know, it's just one of those tragic accidents. That's why accidents are called accidents, because it's just, you can't help it. Even though the driver would have been terrified, I would have been terrified in those circumstances, I would still have stopped at the scene and did all I can to save him, or if he's beyond help, you know, you still call the police or paramedics or whatever. You don't just drive off. Although, saying that, as a teenager, younger than Nathan, when I was 13 or 14, I was involved in a hit and run, and I was the victim. And then, even though it was a complete accident, the driver didn't stop at the scene. I guess maybe it's panic or adrenaline, or, you know, you just go completely, like, in a daze, and so you just keep driving. So I suppose that's you know, it's hard one to call, saying what I've just said about even if it was an accident. So because of what happened to me, I don't know why that driver kept driving, instead of stopping at the scene after I was struck, but whatever that reason is, that is another reason for it still being an accident, but that explains why the driver drove off. People who were at the party who might know what happened to Nathan, or, you know, could explain the circumstances to the police about what was going on, you know, his last moments before he went off on his own in the darkness. They're just not talking to the police, either on the advice of their parents, because obviously they're teenagers, or just because they know something and they're scared, or, you know, they're just not going to talk to the police. So it's a mystery, and that's where it stands at the moment. It's just a mystery. And I sincerely hope that the police get to the bottom of what happened to Nathan, these circumstances. Whether it was murder or a tragic accident, whichever one, I hope that they find out soon, so that his parents can rest easy. They've got enough to deal with as it is, that, you know, that their son died in such a tragic way, and not knowing whether it was an accident or on purpose, it just sort of adds, I guess it adds to the trauma. So, pray for Nathan, that he can rest in peace. And thanks for watching. I'll see you tomorrow.